The rifle industry just got flipped upside down. At the 2026 NRA Annual Meetings in Houston, Texas, manufacturers walked onto that show floor and proved something that would have sounded absolutely insane just 10 years ago. You can now walk into a gun store, hand over less than $800, and walk out with a bolt-action deer rifle that shoots sub-minute of angle groups right out of the box. No gunsmith, no aftermarket trigger, no custom barrel work. Nothing. Just open the box, mount a scope, and start printing tight groups at 100 yards. Now here is the problem. There are dozens of rifles fighting for that budget crown right now. And if you walk into that store without doing your homework, you are going to spend your hard-earned money on the wrong gun. Maybe it feeds rough. Maybe the trigger feels like dragging a brick across gravel. Maybe the stock warps after one wet season in the field. I have seen it happen way too many times. That is exactly why we are here today. We spent time on that show floor in Houston. We went hands-on with the hardware, and we broke down the top 5 budget deer rifles from the 2026 NRA AM, so you do not have to guess. 5 rifles. Real specs. Real performance. And one of them is going to be the best value buy in the hunting industry. If you are new here and you want honest gear reviews with zero fluff, hit that subscribe button right now. We do this every week. All right, let's get into it. Coming in at number 5 on our list, the Mossberg Patriot Carbine. And before you ask why a Mossberg is on a deer rifle list, hear me out. Mossberg built their reputation on pump shotguns. Everyone knows that. But what they have done with the Patriot Carbine at the 2026 NRA AM is something genuinely impressive for a $500 rifle. This thing was purpose-built for one specific hunter, the guy who hunts thick timber, the guy climbing into a cramped tree stand before sunrise, the guy who already owns a suppressor or is seriously thinking about getting one. Here is why the geometry matters. The standard Patriot Carbine ships with a 16.25-inch barrel. That brings your overall length down to just 36.5 inches and your stripped weight to 6.2 pounds. Now, thread on a modern lightweight suppressor. And here is the magic. Instead of turning your rifle into an unwieldy 4-foot pole, you end up with a package that still handles like a normal hunting rifle. The center of gravity stays right where you want it. That is not an accident. That is intentional engineering. The action runs a twin-lug push-feed bolt with a deeply fluted body to reduce friction in the raceway. Mossberg compensates for the 90-degree bolt throw with an oversized tactical bolt handle that gives you positive purchase even with gloves on. The lightning bolt action trigger is user-adjustable from 2 pounds all the way up to 7 pounds, and factory units typically break clean right around 3.3 to 3.5 pounds. That is genuinely impressive for this price point. Feed is handled by a flush-fitting 4 or 5 round detachable polymer box magazine. Simple. Reliable. Easy to swap in the field. Now the honest downside. At 6.2 pounds, shooting full-power .308 Winchester unsuppressed is going to light your shoulder up. This rifle was engineered to live with a suppressor on the muzzle. Shoot it that way, and it is exceptional. Shoot it without one, and you will know about it by the 3rd round. MSRP runs between $500 and $515. Solid rifle. Specific use case. If that use case is yours, it is a no-brainer. Number 4, the Glenfield Model A. And this one is going to surprise a lot of people. If you are under 40, you probably have never heard the Glenfield name. Here is the quick history. Glenfield was originally a budget subsidiary of Marlin Firearms, sold through Sears and J.C. Penney back in the day. Basic, reliable, utilitarian guns for working hunters who did not need a fancy name on the receiver. Then Marlin got acquired by Ruger, and the Glenfield name quietly disappeared. Until now. Ruger just brought it back. And the reason why tells you everything about what is happening in this market right now. The Ruger American Gen 2 got so good, so feature-rich, that its price climbed. So Ruger needed something to anchor the ultra-budget space. Enter the Glenfield Model A. At its core, this is a simplified first-generation Ruger American action. But do not let that fool you into dismissing it. Because what they kept matters a lot more than what they trimmed away. They kept the cold hammer-forged barrel on a $499 rifle. Let that sink in for a second. Cold hammer forging is a manufacturing process where a steel blank gets beaten around a precision mandrel. The result is an exceptionally smooth bore, dense grain structure, and a barrel that will outlast you and probably your kids. That is not a budget feature. That is a premium feature at a budget price. The muzzle is threaded at the industry standard 5/8 by 24. A steel thread protector is included from the factory. The 3-lug bolt gives you that fast 70-degree throw, and the trigger is user-adjustable between 3 and 5 pounds, breaking consistently around 4.25 pounds on factory test units. Independent ballistic testing with 308 Winchester factory hunting loads showed best groups at 0.82 inches at 100 yards. Average groups sitting right around 1.4 to 1.6 inches. That is near minute of angle performance from a $499 rifle. Now, the honest talk. The stock comb sits low. If you are running a large objective scope, you are probably going to need an aftermarket cheek riser. The 2-position safety does not lock the bolt, which means a hard bump through thick brush could theoretically open it. And that short 70-degree bolt throw requires a little more deliberate effort to lift compared to a traditional 90-degree action. But at $499 MSRP, with street prices regularly dropping to around $429, those are compromises that are very easy to live with. This is a market disruptor, plain and simple. Number 3, the Savage Axis II. If you have been around the shooting sports for any length of time, you already know the Axis. It has been the gateway rifle for countless new hunters for well over a decade. The question heading into the 2026 NRAAM was simple. Did Savage actually fix the things people complained about? Or did they just slap a new color on the same old package? The answer is they genuinely fixed it. Start with the stock. Early generation budget rifles across the entire industry were rightfully hammered for cheap, hollow, flexible stocks that felt like cheap plastic lawn furniture. The new Axis II stock is a completely different animal. Aggressive geometric texturing runs the full length of the forend. The pistol grip now features ambidextrous palm swells that put your wrist in a natural, relaxed angle and your trigger finger in a consistent position every single time you mount the rifle. That consistency directly translates into tighter groups downrange. They also redesigned the bolt handle with more mechanical leverage, which matters enormously when you are running the action with thick insulated gloves at 15 degrees before sunrise. But here is where Savage has always separated itself from the competition. 2 words. AccuTrigger? Thread-in head spacing. The AccuTrigger is genuinely one of the most important trigger innovations in the history of production rifles. That patented blade within the trigger shoe physically prevents the sear from releasing unless your finger is properly indexed on the trigger face. You get a safe trigger and a crisp trigger at the same time. No compromise. And it is user adjustable. which means you can tune it to exactly where you want it without touching a gunsmith. The thread-in head spacing system is equally important and equally underappreciated. Savage threads the barrel into the receiver and only locks it down with a barrel nut after verifying exact headspace with a machined gauge. The result is match-grade chamber dimensions produced at mass market scale. That is why Axis II rifles consistently hover right around 1 minute of angle with quality factory ammunition and regularly dip below it with match loads. Now here is what really sets the Axis II apart at the 2026 show: caliber selection. Savage offers this platform in everything from 22 .250 Remington for varmints all the way up to 30-06 Springfield for elk and bear. And critically, they include 350 Legend and 400 Legend for hunters in Midwest states where straight-wall cartridge regulations apply. If you hunt in Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, or Iowa, that matters more than almost any other spec on this list. Finishes come in olive drab green, tactical gray, and flat dark earth. All muted, all practical, all a significant upgrade over traditional blued steel. MSRP runs from $489 to $559, depending on configuration. Versatile, accurate, and genuinely improved. The Axis II earns its spot. Number 2, the CVA Cascade. And this is where things get really interesting. CVA Connecticut Valley Arms. For most of their history, these guys made muzzle loaders, black powder inline rifles, primitive weapons season guns. That was their lane, and they owned it. So when they announced they were entering the centerfire bolt-action market, a lot of people in the industry raised an eyebrow. Can a muzzleloader company actually build a precision centerfire rifle that belongs in the same conversation as Ruger and Savage? After spending time with the Cascade at the 2026 NRAAM, the answer is an emphatic yes. Here is what immediately stands out when you pick this rifle up: the fit and finish. At $657.95, the Cascade looks and feels like it belongs in a $1,200 glass case. The barrel is 22 inches of 4,140 carbon steel finished in flat, dark earth Cerakote. That ceramic polymer coating is not just cosmetic. It is a genuine barrier against moisture, sweat, salt air, and the kind of abuse that hunting rifles take in the field season after season. Threaded muzzle at 5/8 by 24 comes standard. The receiver architecture bears a close structural resemblance to the legendary Savage 110 action. That is not an accident, and it is not a liability. It is a smart engineering decision. It means the Cascade accepts any two-piece optic mount designed for Savage 110 AccuTrigger models. You immediately gain access to a massive aftermarket ecosystem of mounting solutions without hunting for proprietary hardware. 3-lug bolt head gives you that rapid 70-degree throw for fast follow-up shots and full clearance under large objective scopes. The stock is fiberglass reinforced synthetic with CVA's proprietary soft touch finish, frequently available in veil wideland camouflage. Wet hands, cold hands, gloved hands. It does not matter. That surface grips like it means it. Removable length of pull spacers let you dial in the fit to your exact frame. Dual front sling swivel studs ship standard, so you can run a bipod and a sling simultaneously without modification. Now here is the number that genuinely stops people in their tracks when they hear it. The factory trigger on the CVA Cascade breaks at 1.55 pounds right out of the box. 1.55 pounds from the factory on a $657 rifle. That is a number you typically see on aftermarket drop-in trigger units that cost $200 by themselves. A trigger that light and that clean fundamentally eliminates shooter-induced movement at the moment of ignition. It is the single biggest reason this rifle consistently produces sub-minute of angle groups at 100 yards and 200 yards with match-grade ammunition. Independent long-range testing has seen the Cascade engaging steel targets reliably at 875 yards in 11 mile-per-hour crosswinds. At this price point, that kind of performance is almost difficult to believe. CVA backs all of it with a formal sub-minute of angle accuracy guarantee. In writing. On a mass-produced sub-$700 rifle. The one honest critique worth mentioning is brand familiarity. CVA does not carry the same century-long centerfire legacy as Ruger or Savage. For some buyers, that hesitation is real, but the hardware does not lie. MSRP is $657.95. For pure mechanical performance per dollar, nothing on this list comes closer to punching above its weight class. And here we are. Number 1, the Ruger American Generation 2. Look, if you have been watching this channel for any length of time, this is not going to shock you. But if you are new here, let me explain exactly why this rifle sits at the top of the list and why the gap between number 1 and number 2 is wider than the price difference suggests. The original Ruger American changed the budget rifle market when it launched. It set a new floor for what an affordable bolt action could do. But the Generation 2 that Ruger brought to the 2026 NRAAM is not just an incremental update. It is a comprehensive engineering overhaul that addresses nearly every legitimate criticism of the original platform while somehow keeping the price accessible. Start with the stock. The Gen 2 ships with a splatter pattern polymer stock in multiple colorways with aggressive tactile texturing that grips in rain, mud, and every condition a white-tailed deer season is going to throw at you. But the texture is secondary. What matters is what is underneath. Ruger built in a fully modular ergonomic system with adjustable comb height and length of pull spacers. You can fit this rifle to your exact body geometry in about 5 minutes with no tools. Proper cheek weld means your eye is perfectly aligned with your optic every single time you mount the rifle. That is not a luxury feature. That is a fundamental accuracy feature, and it used to cost extra. The barrel is spiral fluted on a $500 street price rifle. Fluting does 3 things. It reduces overall weight. It dramatically increases surface area for heat dissipation during extended strings of fire. And it shifts the balance point slightly rearward for faster handling in tight cover. All external metal components are finished in Cerakote, not a bargain brand coating. Actual Cerakote, the same ceramic polymer system used on high-end tactical and custom rifles. That finish is going to outlast the bluing on rifles costing 3 times as much. The threaded muzzle ship standard across the entire Gen 2 lineup. 5/8 by 24, ready for a suppressor or a muzzle brake the moment you leave the store. Now the action. 3-lug bolt, 70-degree throw, full diameter bolt body running in precision machined receiver raceways. The result is a cycling action that is smooth, fast, and completely free of the lateral binding you sometimes feel in traditional 2-lug push-feed designs. The 3-position tang safety is one of the most underrated features on this entire list. Position 1 fires. Position 2 blocks the firing mechanism, but allows bolt manipulation so you can safely unload the chamber. Position 3 locks everything. That middle position is how you safely clear a chambered round at the truck or the stand without putting your finger anywhere near the trigger. That is serious safety engineering on a budget platform. The Ruger Marksman adjustable trigger is crisp, clean, and user-tunable between 3 and 5 pounds. No creep, no stacking, just a predictable break that lets you call your shots with confidence. MSRP runs from $729 to $769, depending on configuration. But here is the real number that matters. Street prices on the Ruger American Gen 2 regularly drop to right around $500 at major retailers. At that price, you are getting spiral fluting, Cerakote, a modular adjustable stock, a 3-position safety, and a match quality trigger. That is the whole package. Nothing left out. Nothing to upgrade. Nothing to apologize for. At $500 out the door, the Ruger American Generation 2 is the most mechanically complete, field-ready, and genuinely accurate budget deer rifle available anywhere in 2026. It is not even close. So there you have it, the top 5 budget deer rifles from the 2026 NRA Annual Meetings in Houston. 5 rifles that prove beyond any reasonable doubt that you do not need to spend $3,000 to put venison in the freezer this fall. But now I want to hear from you. Because here is the thing, a lot of you are going to push back on that number 1 spot. Maybe you have been running a CVA Cascade for 2 seasons, and you think it should be sitting at the top of this list. Maybe you are a savage guy who will argue the AccuTrigger and thread-in head spacing make the Axis 2 the smarter buy. Maybe you think the Glenfield Model A at $429 out the door makes everything else on this list irrelevant. Drop your take in the comments right now. Tell me which rifle you would put at number 1 and exactly why. I read every single comment, and I will be responding down there today. If this video helped you cut through the noise and make a smarter buying decision, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We drop honest, no fluff gear reviews every single week. No sponsored opinions, no manufacturer talking points. Just straight talk from guys who actually spend time behind these rifles. We will see you in the next one.